So long, summer, we hardly knew you. We have been treated to a main course of a lifetime over the past few weeks, and before we get into the meaningless sugar hits of what cricket will ultimately become, we soak ourselves in the warm, ethereal glow of the magnificence of something that means something. Jeopardy is what makes us and sport feel alive. And this might as well have been hosted by Alex Trebek. India win the series 2-2. Can we shake on that? Can anybody shake on anything? Can a series just be good without it only creating context for the next series? Can a test series just be amazing and not spark discussions of the death of the very thing we've just enjoyed? What about Australia's top six? And will there literally be a second IPL next season? If ever Imagine Not Liking Football was a series, the England-India series of 2025 was it. It was stupendous in its infuriating nature. It was marvellous in its policing of others' attitudes. We didn't learn anything, and yet we all had fun. We yelled at each other from our corners of the internet, and nobody listened, but we loved it, especially when the other one failed. We were kissed by the blessed northern sun, and we danced to the rhythms of whoever said or did the dumbest thing next. It was chaotic, it was fiery, it was flat. My God, it was flat! It was tense. It was running on fumes. It was all of the good things that you remember, and it was so good that it'll make you forget about the things that don't matter. We learnt about groundsmen and morality and injury substitutions and umpires' calls, technology, and whose dad thought who was out. We learned about which grounds are hard-seeing grounds, time-wasting management, and who is on whose screensaver. Nobody will ever understand why you like this sport, and if a Martian came down and looked down at London on day 5, they would have said there is no intelligent life here on this planet, but my God, we felt it. We felt it. We felt it. Pezza, the 100 starts on Tuesday. Is Cam Green Australia's long-term number 3?
I want to say a wonderful intro, Higgins. Last pod of the season for us as well. And I want to make clear to those who don't religiously follow the TGC content schedule, including ourselves, that we're not just coming back for round 2 of Indian views. You know what I mean? People are, because I think this happened last time with our last pod, that the Stokes handshake thing happened, and we fired up on the daily, and then just looked like we just came back for just another 90 minutes on it. But this is the main pod. You know, this is where we get to sit down, we get to chop it up a little bit, analyse it in great depth and detail, which is what the punters expect, and enjoy it from there.
Geez, Dhoni was a good captain,
wasn't he?
Sachin, unbelievable. All conditions.
It does appear to be a time to we sit down, we shake hands, we reflect on a wonderful series. I seem to prefix everything that I'm saying with efforts are being made. No efforts are made really by anyone. People just say what they think.
Everyone's lazy.
That's right. Yeah, no one's not least us, but. Now we enter the zone of spinning, what that was, right? We enter the spin zone. And I'm happy to be part of it, obviously obsessed as Aussies, but very happy to be part of it. There's people from all walks of life, from all countries, who want to put their own lens over it. Happy to reflect all of it, you know what I mean? Got my own views, but it's a long old summer.
Yeah.
It's you gotta, it's a long game, but aren't we lucky to have witnessed what we witnessed, brought about by some excellent ideologies and philosophies, and it's just, we're just blessed.
We're just saying thank you.
And we're just saying thank you to the combatants.
Graham Swan was right. This was a perfect lead up to the Ashes.
Yeah.
Warm up, I think. Warm up to the Ashes. Now, before we get into all of these things that are happening on the show, by the way, Chris Rogers joins us on the show. Looking forward to speaking to Buck, a man who's spent a lot of time in the UK. He also played cricket there.
Episode 300 for the boys, by the way.
Well, there's that as well. Now, before we get to that, a new book coming out at the end of this year. You can get the pre-order now. Booktopia is where you can get your pre-order. Somehow we are on the bestsellers list. And the book isn't even out yet. So is that a good sign? I don't know. I don't know how books work.
Wow, how do fucking authors feel about that? Number 1 bestseller on Booktopia. I don't know how books work.
No, well, not my problem.
Well, I mean, a lot's going to be said this summer about ideology, about philosophies.
Right.
There are competing ideologies and philosophies between Australia and England. They have many layers to it. So this book is coming out because we felt it was an important time to to honour, to cherish, to preserve the sacred culture that we were raised in. Okay, I mean, we talk about culture wars all the time.
Yes.
This is a stake in the ground from TGC saying this is the culture that is the bedrock of what Australian cricket is. Thankfully, it's not what the current team is, but nevertheless, these are the true foundations of Australian cricket as we experienced it. The key foundational touchstones are dealt with over a dozen or so chapters: circuit, tubs, characters on the periphery, volunteers, administrators, chewers, etc. Other matters like ruined words, how the game's changing.
Brilliant.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You would, because you wrote half of the book. All of it is critical socio-cultural context ahead of a rich summer that promises lots of words. Okay? Alphas, champs, and chop kings, Booktopia. If you're in England or India and you want it, we're trying to figure that out now.
Yeah. Should we have already done that? Probably. But, stay tuned, whatever you're doing. No, so, thank you to everyone who's already pre-ordered the book. There's a link in the description of this show. However you're consuming it, there's a link in the description where you can get your pre-order available therein. Now, you mentioned at the top there, Pezza, that this is our 300th episode. That is correct. This is our 300th podcast episode. I think we've put out something in the realm of about 1,500 YouTube videos as well. So obviously it's not the purest. Well, no, it actually is the purest 300 because this longer form thing, we get to speak to people and get your questions in as well. It's the truest and purest expression of TGC each week over the course of the last, I guess, 9 years. I think 2016 we started this bad boy. So 300th of this here episode, and at the same time, bit of good news. It's coincided that we've also surpassed 100 million YouTube views, which maybe no one cares about, but it's certainly an achievement here at TGC Towers that we feel anyway. Now, many people might be thinking, hey, didn't you do that about sort of like several million views ago? Well, look, some videos had to be taken down, etc., or they've been on private. Look, that's not really for me to say, and I won't be commenting on that.
Yeah. We've passed 100 million views twice. It's just that we lost about 10 recently.
Yeah. Look, thank you to everyone that has come along the journey at whatever point you have done since 2016 up until literally this very moment. I look around the studio, Pezza. There are beer cans that we've made. There's LEDs. There's a neon sign behind you. There's cameras. There's a guy called Chuck who definitely exists. He's a real person. Camera switching right now. There's a Sunrises Hyderabad lid. There are some of the fastest sunglasses you've ever seen. I'm thinking about Daphne Benno. That's a separate issue entirely. But
join us on Patreon.
We've had some fun over the years. There's been 5 years of Patreon, Pezza. Look, I suppose in the context as well, we've done 25 daily reviews for the series between England and India. And despite all of these things we've done, that particular series, we've had no sponsor. And we wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for the people that get behind the show and watch the show and listen to the show and engage with the show, or they've signed up on Patreon, or they write in, or they tweet us, or they tell us that we're racist, or we don't get it, or we're dumb, oafish Aussies. All of these things can be true at the same time. But we want to say thank you to every single person that's come along. If you're one of the 100 million views on YouTube, or there is probably more on audio, thank you so much for allowing us to do this over the last 9 years especially. So it's been amazing. Anything you want to add?
Yeah. First episode published, selection night with Merv Hughes at Fox Sports. Now that's the first published one. We did have one before that. A warm-up with Ed Cowan that had some technical issue. And I think technical issues have been part of the journey as well, all the way through to being on stage in front of 3,000 people at Hammersmith Apollo where our mics cut out. There has been a thread there the entire time. There have been a lot of podcasts done remotely. There's been a lot of interviews done with Skype credit, with credit being inserted while the interview's taking place. There's been remote interviews done with me in London, you in Sydney. Mm-hmm. We've done episodes from our cars under Doonas. We've done a lot of work unpaid for a long time before we've started receiving some rewards. And I come back to the same point you did, which is, without support and encouragement from people and people writing in, we wouldn't have the we've only ever wanted to be here insofar as people have wanted us to be here. You know, that we're doing something that's resonating with people. So, and as you say, you know, it's not. People think that, you know, yeah, sure, there were bulk views last night with India, but it doesn't always translate. And we've just done 10 million views for India versus England without a sponsor. So there's still some business holes. Still holes in the old business model there. Yeah. But
one day we will not pay Charlie in sausages.
I mean, as sausages are all right, yeah. But now
they're gourmet.
You get those gourmet ones, the ones with herbs in them and stuff from Coles. I know you like those ones, Juggy, in your bowl.
In his dish.
But it's a thank you to the audience who've encouraged us all the way, and we still have the fight, still have the passion. We're still able to do 25 reviews of games, you know, without pay, basically. I think we made that point enough. So yeah, I think 300 is awesome. This pod, the main pod, is really that it has been the nucleus of TGC's work. I mean, it's really from where everything else has spawned, really. So awesome to get to 300, but not in an Aussie rules way. You know, it's not like it doesn't have to be solemn and like, oh, you're a 300 gamer.
We should have come through a banner today.
Damn it!
You should have run through a banner.
Yeah. Okay.
Eric banner.
But it's a thank you to everybody else, really.
And a thank you for Australia to dust the West Indies in 2 days for those 3 test matches. Because that wasn't particularly easy with the time zones and whatnot. Pezza, last week we spoke about the death of tea.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that unified everyone across the lands that enjoy tea or have played cricket before or have club subscriptions that allows them to access tea on Saturday afternoons. We had a fair few correspondents, but I think one of them caught your eye.
Yeah, well, I asked out there for, you know, whether or not this tea experience that we first read about was just confined to that area, and it was where was it? That was Melbourne, wasn't it?
It was Victoria.
That was Windy Hill. Oh no, that was the issue with Windy Hill with AFLW, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. There's issues everywhere in club cricket. That's all right. That'll be solved by privatisation as money flows back into grassroots cricket.
New bats for everyone.
Rajasthan Royals will solve the Windy Hill issue and tea. Kit Welsh wrote in, "Hi guys, love the show. I'm writing in from Sussex, England, where we have the same problem here in Div 9 in the Sussex League.
Good.
With cricket tees never really bouncing back after coronavirus."
Full name.
And then when a club does do them, it doesn't work out well for them because not only do they have the added expense, but visiting sides all have full availability as everyone wants to play there and everyone is pumped and raring to go. Mm-hmm. So these guys have got tea. I'm available. I can eat.
I'm up and about.
I enjoy a sausage roll, egg sandwich, and lukewarm cuppa at the change just as much as I enjoy a pint and looking at a cock at the end of the game. It's a global problem. Kit, Sussex. Now, I have one other item, he goes, that I didn't divulge to you. I'm sure you've seen it. Comes from Reddit. And it's the headline on Reddit is, "How long do you think before a name change happens?" It is a shout out to Carnegie United Cricket Club, home of the Cup Kings. Been around for quite a while. Sponsored by Ray White as well. But proudly the Cup Kings, CUCC.
Yeah.
And I hear it's a great place to watch cricket. And on Reddit, I also see someone say, "I'm more concerned for the Carnegie United netball team." Club cricket. It's a wonderful place.
Big rivalry against the Owls. That's about as good as I can do. Let's talk about India and let's talk about England and India
again. Yeah, let's just get around again.
The 5th test. Let's talk about the Oval. Let's talk about the series as a whole. You know, and unfortunately, with the timings of last week's show, we missed out on discussing the major battle of the series. That was Gautam Gambhir and the Oval groundsman, Lee Fortis Court. That's one for the North Sydney fans, where a lot of business gets done. Let me tell you. So that was a good. That's one of the great things about 5 test series, where the longer guys are away from home, the more tired and exhausted and expressive that men get, and they start lashing out at each other. Now, you know, Lee is a big guy. You know, he's storming around with his big old boots. He's doing the business for the Oval, creating probably the best deck of the series. So he's done well.
Yep.
Gautam Gambhir, after India, ascending to the good guys of world cricket, finally they got their They got the thing they yearn for the most, being the good guys. That lasted 16 seconds after the Stokes handshake debacle. And Gordon Gambier said, "Not on my watch. Now I'm going to criticise you for being just a groundsman," whilst also at the same time fighting for the common man in India. So confusing messaging. Those were his words. But it was a nice pretext, and it sort of all adds to the spice of this series being completely insane when the groundsman's getting involved. That's always a fun one in Australia as well.
Like, don't be sleeping on Lee Fortis, by the way, though, who did, as far as I could see, managed to stand up in a short period of time a social media campaign with a hashtag of like, not just the groundsman. And not the only peripheral character, with respect, in a test match, standing up social media campaigns, by the way. I don't know if you caught Kumar Dharmasena's Instagram is popping off.
Popping.
Where he's got a social media team with like the nice close-ups, zoom-ins, audio, the ChatGPT generated captions, which are kind of just vague enough to inspire, curiosity about what he's talking about, explaining some of his decisions. So Penguin PR is on the rise, and it'd want to be after one of those LBWs last night as well.
Which was technically out.
It was clipping. It was clipping. It was a bee's penis.
Was it missing the stumps?
Clipping.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't missing. Well, was it? And he's also, at the same time, he's also, about a year or so ago, might have been 2 years ago now, he also released a cologne. So, KD,
mate, he's Sri
Lanka, he's doing the business.
And why shouldn't umpires commercialise?
Fucking oath.
I know, integrity. But but I think umpires are as entitled to stand-up social media campaigns as anybody else.
He looks like he smells good.
I've
always thought that about Kumar Dharmasena.
Okay.
It looks like he smells good.
That's good. I didn't see that coming. I just think when an umpire's knocking around on socials and releasing colognes, you're like, it does just add a little layer to any decision that's made. Like, this is a bloke that releases a cologne. What's he gonna like? What's
he's here to fuck?
Yeah, he's here to fuck. Kumar Dharmasena, he's here to fuck.
Monday night in London.
Yeah,
straight to Soho. Yeah, when he took about a week and a half to give out Jamie Overton for kissing leg stump on day 5, I thought, fuck, it looks like he smells amazing.
Yeah. Oh, well, if anybody smelt Kumar Dharmasena, let us know,
Also heading into the test match, Pezza, Ben Stokes obviously spoke at the end of the 4th test match saying pain is just an emotion. He was injured for the next test.
It's a long summer.
I mean, that's just not funny. I'm sorry. Pain is just I'm not sure Chris Wokes felt that. He looked like he was in genuine pain or having an emotional breakdown. I couldn't really tell which one. Was it a dislocated shoulder or trouble at home?
Stokes genuinely said pain is just an emotion, and the headline the next day was Stokes ruled out for 10 weeks. I mean, what are you meant to do? No,
That's Aussies, mate. Aussies obsessed. Rent free.
What are we doing?
Yeah, come on. Hey, come on.
Played well. He's,
wasn't player of the series. We'll get to that
August,
later.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. Now, both teams made 4 changes. It's the second time it's ever happened mid-series. Of course, people will remember the Pakistan-Sri Lanka series in 2016 where that happened. People still talk about that. No, but the point of raise that it was this, the 5 test matches in 6 weeks, which is, I think this is actually the same amount of time they've been playing these series for ages, and it's almost to the day the exact amount of time that the Ashes will take place. So 5 test series now do happen over 6 weeks. I don't think they get boats anymore. Which is a great shame.
Yeah, that's right. To everyone's chagrin.
But it does highlight that into this last test match, it felt like both teams on absolute fumes. Bumrah was obviously only ever going to play 3 test matches, but Rishabh Pant, who was India's at least second best batter in the series, snapped his foot in half, and England without Stokes, of course, with the old boulder there. Jofra, no good. And then what happened to Wokes was a great shame as well. So, by the end, it felt like it was running on fumes. But guys got a game, and they produced, without question, the greatest game of the series. And there's been a couple of good ones, like Lords comes to mind as well. During the game itself, there was the Akashdeep Ben Duckett moment where Duckett said to Akashdeep, you can't get me out, before being got out by Akashdeep. Then he put his arm around his shoulder. Ian Ward then
for the 4th time that series, by the way.
Yeah. So then Ian Ward suggested to Ponting the following day. He said, Ponting right hook, wouldn't it? Yeah, wouldn't it have been? And then he also referenced the bourbon and beefsteak night with Ponting. And Ponting says, probably. So Ponting was there as well. It was been put up, obviously, to as the piñata ahead of the Ashes and the 2005 series as well. The game itself, hundreds for Root and Brook, obviously, in the fourth innings. Jaiswal in the third innings, terrific hundreds. There was bags in the game for Atkinson and Tongue, and then, of course, Siraj to win it. And the final day was just great fun all round. There was obviously the Wokes scenes of walking down those famous steps at the Oval in a sling. There was Siraj putting India on his back. There was the Penguins' involvement with giving out LBWs, and there was no run given to Josh Tongue because of the decision by Asad Rana. So maybe that was influential. There was Kumar Dharmasena giving out Overton. The whole thing was, I think it was only been for 50 minutes or something, that final game, but fuck, it was fun. Maybe if cricket could only be shorter, that'd be awesome.
Shrink it down to the best moments.
The best moments,
so,
yeah. Highlights.
Yeah, full house, pretty much, it seemed, for 56 minutes of play. It's pretty awesome.
56, right.
Chris Wokes. Chris Wokes trying to win a game for a country against India with one hand tied behind his back. I mean, isn't that the symbol of world cricket?
Well, that's like, you'll never work again in this town.
You'll never walk alone. Yinhua. How did an 80-over old Duke's ball just start doing more than at any other point in the series?
Yeah, they got a good one. They got a good ball.
The Australian ball moved more than the English ball in 2017-18.
Yeah. Funny that.
I liked how the Indian players extended poor old Wokesy some respect as he came out. That was hot. If Wokes hits the winning runs batting left-handed, I'm out of here. Don't need to watch cricket or sport again. It was awesome. Full respect for Wokes.
Yep.
Of course, and obviously the bravery that he showed allows everybody to gloss over how England fucked that up and fucked the series up. But that's okay. That's it. They are entirely within their rights to enjoy. You do not want to disrupt the Ashes effort at the moment. I get it. Okay, but 2-2 at home, managing your own decks against an inexperienced team. I don't know if we're looking into that, or we're all systems go. Let's get the fast bowlers fit for the Ashes. Play on.
Some would say they lost 7 for 65 to lose a game against Prasid Krishna. Others would say great game,
man.
So
they do. We talk. A lot was said about cultural differences after the fourth test, milestone culture versus doing it for the team or what's right for the game. Mm-hmm. There's cultural differences here as well. 2-2. I'm asking questions if it's Australia, but
your problem.
It is my problem. It is my problem.
Hey, some of the reaction from Australia, just way over the
obsessed.
top. Way over the top.
Absolutely obsessed.
Yeah. Embarrassing.
And yet you're talking about us again. I mean, it was madcap. The maniacal Siraj is the man. He gets it done. Respect is put on his name. Meanwhile, Gus Atkinson's trying to farm a one-armed man in a sling. It was awesome. Cinema.
What a game.
Cinema, theatre. India keep coming, wave after wave. Young team doing it without the big dogs around. Funny how, when you give young people a bit of responsibility, they can step up. I thought that was awesome. I rated how NASA said a 3-1 England win would have been a travesty. 3-1 win would have just been a 3-1 win.
Yeah.
I was just, mate, it was, like a lot of people will talk about how great this was and why it was great. And this is where people, this is where the, people will advance their, what they want to be true. I mean, it was great because it was even. It was just evenly matched. It was two teams who take different routes to victory, basically coming out somewhere in the middle. The evenness creates pressure, and the jeopardy, like players delivering or wilting in the small moments that mean the difference between victory and defeat. The emotional strain of a close game, where there's small. There's just marginal differences that make the difference. That can result in regrettable conduct, to handshake or not, to sledge Joe Root or not, to get off the deck, which is roped off, or risk the wrath of Lee Fortis Court. That it, like the marginal matters create like psychological and tactical changes. So, whether you hire a no dickheads guy or hold sledging meetings a couple of weeks later, whether you weaponize the laws of cricket or you weaponize the spirit of cricket, whether you chase milestones or you rest, whether you change the ball or hope that it gets pushed through toy handcuffs, whether you time waste or whether you get on with it.
Yeah.
Everyone's just seeking the edge that makes a difference in close, evenly matched games. I don't think it's particularly great because of any given style or anything. I just think you've got pretty benign decks, some good technicians and run scorers with the bat, bowlers trying their best to stay on the park, and two teams at different places essentially coming out around the same, and and it ends up 2-2, which feels about right. And I think it's the tantric nature of just 5 tests and the attrition therein, that also creates a lot more. You're edged the entire time because it's close and it keeps going. So and the end just delivered massively. Like one team, to watch the series wasn't to think to oneself, there is a team that's in the ascendancy and we're just waiting for the final blow. It really swung like a pendulum in a way that, from day to day you'd be like, I can see how England finally gets over the top of India. And then you'd be like, but India keeps coming. And they I did think at the end, I thought, as you did, Root and Brooke with that excellent partnership in tough conditions, had just done enough to get to show England's ascendancy, and 3-1 would have been, understandable. Yeah. And then India, with only 35 runs to play with, take 4 poles with a couple of decent bats there as well. So, and huge Indian crowd there. So, yeah, to that extent, it was an excellent series because we're just talking about 2 evenly matched sides who, respected Test cricket and probably respected the amount of effort everyone in that team had made. I'm calling out, and I've done this before, but calling out Cowan on ABC Grandstand Pod, just lauding the 5 Test series because it doesn't just call upon class players to make the difference. It calls upon the entire group, which means the coach and the staff and the medical staff and physios, etc., who have to get people on the park. So that, I think that was also part of why it felt awesome. It was just a really, really long, tense drama that had an excellent finish.
Yeah, so it's funny how 2-2 feels right, because you could very easily make the case for England winning 3-1, or maybe less strong a case, but you could make a case for India winning 3-1 as well. I know they got close at Lords, but they were quite a way behind, and they probably did pretty well to only lose by 20 runs, 21, something like that. But it's funny when you think of the context of the series. So there's one game where one team wins by 20 runs and another game where the other team wins by 6 runs. So you're thinking like, wow, this must have been an amazing series. Yet, because of the nature of the decks, I'll be honest, my experience of it was like a lot of it was pretty fucking boring. Like,
what?
Some of the batting was obviously incredible. And you look at like the feats of some of the batters, Shub McGill's runs, Joe Root's runs, Harry Brooks' runs, Jaiswal's bookend hundreds. Well, great skill. Like these guys are world-class cricketers, right? But you sort of get there in the end, but it was a great series because the final game was one of the great test matches that we've seen this century. There have been great test matches all over the world. Pakistan and South Africa to get into the World Test Championship final. The World Test Championship final wasn't a great test match necessarily, but there have been lots of close games, right? So, and then so when I think about like the ultimate scoreline, it's like, well, that probably was just about right. But then I think about India's performance specifically. To go away from home anywhere and win is difficult, especially one of the big 3 sides. I mean, basically no one does it. And India were so, in my eyes anyway, were so on the canvas. We're on the canvas so many times. I'm talking about like after the first Test match where they scored 5 guys scored hundreds and they didn't win that game. Bumrah was playing, and at that point they dropped a whole bunch of catches, and you're thinking, well, geez, India's played well there.
It's good memory from you, by the way.
And they haven't won. and they haven't won a game. They haven't won that game. So it's like, well, Bumrah's not going to play. And it was wrong in hindsight, but it was like, well, it's hard to see how India win a game. They've played that well. Their lead bowler is not going to play anymore, and yet they win the next Test match fucking easily. They smoke England by one of their biggest ever defeats with 400-something runs.
It was a scared. Well, it was a scared number of runs.
We know England lost by a lot because India kept batting.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Which was a compliment to England.
And then, so Bumrah then plays the Lord's Test match, and you think, well, maybe they bat right back into this series all of a sudden, and then England play the better cricket over the course of the 5 days, and India go close, but England ultimately too good. Bashir gets his moment. He wheels away, hugs the captain. Now he's out of the series. And then at Old Trafford, England fucking smoke him for 3.5 days, and India on the canvas again, and India bat 5 sessions to save the Test match. So it's like, okay, well now, and then like what happened to the final of that Test match? It felt like momentum had shifted towards India, yet India were never really in front of the game at the Oval. They were bowled out for 220. They probably did well to make 220. I think Karan Nair got himself into the series with his first 50. But then like Akash Deep makes 60 and Washington Sundar whacks some sixes and they get a defendable so like there was so many times where India's just out. They're just out. And yet 2-2 is a remarkable achievement. But, if you were an English fan, I'm sure lots of people are like, well, you know what? The team that I've watched my entire life have been shit heaps, and this is actually really fun. It's really fun cricket. I like how they go about it. They chase these runs, they get big hundreds, and it's really fun. I'm having a good time. But it's like, it's hard to escape how they fucked that in the end.
As an Australian.
They've lost 6 for 35 or something. They lost 7 for 65, I think, to lose the game. Maybe they did well to get there in the first place, but
well,
I've just spoken at you for 5 minutes, so I apologise. Just reflecting.
Oh, I've never done that before. So, yeah. Well, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose; it's how you play the game, and I think you get taught that in primary school, and I think those first principles matter, especially when you actually lose the games. Like, how we played was good.
Yeah,
and I think that is that's the basis of a lot of thought at the moment.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's and that's fair play, I guess.
And we all met in the nightclub afterwards.
Yeah, and then Tim O'Mills is on OnlyFans.
Is he? Really?
Did you miss that?
I've not seen that.
Exclusive interview at New York Times, The Athletic.
Really?
Yeah. He's Tim O'Mills has gone on OnlyFans, and he says you got to put yourself out there. As far as I understand, it's not cock stuff though. So it's just
I won't be signing up. Then.
It's bowling tips and tricks. Now, what sort of tricks? Bowling. Yeah. Oh,
any weird tricks? And is there one of them? I saw. So player of the series. Player of the series. Shubman Gill was nominated by Brendan McCullum. The coaches nominate 2 player of the series, one from either side.
Yeah.
Harry Brook was nominated by Gambier as England's player of the series. Now, a couple of years ago, he was also asked to choose between Messi and Ronaldo, and he said Rashford. So I wouldn't say he's the best selector of these things necessarily.
Who said that? Gambier.
Gambier, yeah. He was asked Messi or Ronaldo. He said Rashford.
Oh my god. I mean, I love Marcus.
Hey, good player.
Don't get me wrong. I've seen it live.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So Harry Brook gets player of the series for England. Joe Root scored more runs at a higher average, and Harry Brook's hundreds came in losing sides. But that's actually the peak of cricket, as we know. So has Gambier done a number there? Because I thought Stokes is probably their best player, in my opinion.
I'm guessing it's just like someone's come up to him in the throes of victory and gone, mate, who have you? He's like, I don't know. Like, what's the last thing to happen? Yeah, Brook batted well. Yeah, give it to him. I mean, I'll probably get into Gambier's corner there. Yeah, really. I just don't think he's thought about it. And I mean, this reflects how naive I am, or how low my knowledge is with this. But I didn't realize that both teams were allowed to have a player of the series.
Yeah.
Should be called players of the series. I mean, I want one. I just want to know who was voted, like who was the player of the series. If it's out of those two, then Gill gets it.
Yeah.
But
So Mo Siraj, obviously heroic performance, 30 overs in the 4th innings, day 5, gets his fifer. And he famously did the Sue celebration all the way through the series. He loved it, even when they were getting pumped. He got to do it in Manchester, life achievement, I suspect. Now, he said this, speaking of day 5, I usually wake up at 8, but today I woke up at 6 a.m. I told myself I can do it today. I went on Google and searched for this image, and then he holds up a photo of his phone, and it's a picture of Ronaldo, which says "Believe" written above it. So I downloaded the image and made it the wallpaper. So belief is very important. So That just goes to show the power of Google.
Well, that's pretty like that's just modern like poetry, right? Someone else might have read Keynes or something like that, like
Sure.
back in the day. But the modern player, to get their inspo, gets some Ronaldo wallpaper, and then that's the same thing. Chuck on the old phone there, set as desktop and wallpaper. Chuck a little filter on it, crunch in with the zoom there.
See,
ready to rock. I'm going to take a polls today.
Like Test cricket, it's just blokes having a go. It's just worldy athletes just out there having a go. Because like you would think, what was the secret sauce? What was said? How did he mentalize and is visualization an important part of his success?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out yes. I'll tell you who's a good player, Ronaldo. Put that in the phone. Can't have your phone at the ground, of course, for match fixing reasons, and gambling and whatnot. So, but believe. And also, he woke up early. So, once again, if you're an influencer, you got to start your days early.
Hey, it's rise and grind culture.
Fuck yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Get yourself into an ice bath.
You usually wake up at 8. You want to win this game? 6. And then get a couple of mini days in there as well. He already lived 3 days before he bowled. No, I mean...
End of the month, you're toast.
Good on Siraj, you know what I mean? I mean, aren't all these things just a reflection of like, the respect available to players when you deliver on the field. Like he had the fight, to match the energy. Put it that way. It's just with all players. If there's energy and there's chat that isn't backed up with results, then people are gonna have a crack. It's so and Siraj, he was the only player to play 5 tests, and he was there right at the end, and he gets it done. So like he's the last man standing. I think he'd be a great shout for player of the series. Huge arguments for that. As the person that ultimately made enough of a difference to leave it 2-2, and probably a 2-2 moral victory to India.
Oh yeah, India's won the series 2-2.
That's a 2-2 India win.
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite Art of War, is it? CR7.
No. Well, I said Keynes, and he's actually an English economist, so I'm out.
I think I meant Roy Keane.
Yeah. Just doing his job.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's a very good point. I think he averaged like 30 with the ball in the series, which is as good as averaging about 600 with the bat. I reckon averaging 30 in this series.
Well, yeah. If we have a look at the stats at like some bowling averages for everybody else, past Stokes, I suppose, then it is looking good.
Yeah. Anything else about this test match, or do you want to speak about, or do you want to speak to Chris Rogers?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as we've been clear the entire time, everything we've just said is a prelude. It's a prologue. It's a book. You've just read a little introduction to what the main course is, and felt Buck would be a good person just to help set the tone on August the 5th, ahead of the first test in late November.
Yes.
And also several month break. But so no, I'm looking forward to talking to Buck about what's ahead.
All right, here he is. Here's Buck.
300 episodes, milestone episode for TGC, and only right that we bring into the studio a man who I believe is respected all around the cricket world. Is he transcends the tribalism of Australia and England. He's played for 5 counties, a lot of friends over in England. He's also represented Australia. It's runs wherever he went. He coaches the young guys now. Might have a view on how Australia sets up for the Ashes, also a view of how England might set up as well. And speaking with great candour and intelligence about privatisation, just off air as well now as well. So looking forward to. He said it was Waitley or this. I wanted to go on, but no, very, very generous of Chris Rogers to step into the studio from Junction Oval, Victoria coach, Australian opener. Buck, welcome to TGC episode 300.
Thanks, Pez. I've been putting you off for long enough now, and
straight to rejection.
He said it was the 300th episode, and I couldn't possibly say no. So you've got a new office since I last came in. So you blokes must be doing okay.
Well, I liked how you walked in. You're just like, is there a coffee going here, mate? And then you were offered a Tim Tam and said, is this payment? You know, so
It's about how much I get paid these days. I reckon. These things, mate.
well, as we said, you know, privatisation's coming. There's a bit of Saudi bunts knocking around, so we'll talk about that. Buck, okay, we're recording the morning after, the night before the England-India series. Like, were you captivated by it? What did you think of the finish? What did you make of the series generally?
Oh, it was bloody awesome, that finish. Yeah, I mean, to see Chris Wokes, who, I mean, I've been lucky enough to play against a number of times, and he's a great guy as well. So not a surprise to see him walk out, but you know, just added to that drama. And yeah, what a climax to a great series. So yeah, it was fantastic to see, and yeah, good to see India getting the chocolates on that last day. Yeah, never upset to see England lose, but no, I do. I loved my time in England, but it's always going to be competitive, isn't it?
Do you reckon, the entire series, I think both countries as well were just trying to figure out what every single over and session means for the Ashes? You know, us as interested observers, of course, just trying to figure out who's going to score runs where and what the lineups are going to be and how is he going to bowl with a different ball here on these kind of decks. And, it's so hard to figure any of it out that almost they almost need to play against each other, you know?
They do, but I mean, I've been loving the Broady and Warner chat that's been going on, and that stuff. I mean, that's as entertaining as any of the cricket we'll see as well. But yeah, obviously there's going to be a lot said in the meantime, and both teams have probably got a few questions around their side. So yeah, it's going to be a great series, and what probably the best thing is it looks like England are, for the first time in a while, are going to have just about most of their players available. So there should be no excuses.
Mm-hmm. Do you You've been around the traps a fair bit. You've played in several Ashes series, no doubt you've watched them as a fan as well. Do you think that the chat that we're already starting to consume and be part of and stuff is no different to the chat that's happened before, or do you think there is a special spice to this Ashes coming up because of the style England's playing and perhaps how much they've talked about themselves in the last few years?
Oh. Well, Australians hate baseball, don't they? So, yeah, it's been fascinating. I mean, I'm going to start using the term surfboard as a front pad as well for the boys.
Have you heard that before? In pro circles, you coach the Vic guys. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, we used to say that about Shane Watson's front pad, but that's just sort of lobbed a couple of my ex-teammates under the bus there. They'll understand. I'm only joking, but yeah, it's no. Look, as I said before, it's. There's going to be a lot of chat. A lot of the legends are going to come out of the woodwork and throw a few barbs. I'm waiting for Glenn McGrath to pronounce 5-0 as per usual. And I'll thoroughly support it as well. So, but yeah, well, like I said, but back before, it just needs a great series. That's probably what we need. And I heard or read Nasser Hussein's comments around, that the health of Test cricket and how entertaining it still is, especially when you have a great series like England and India have just had. So, I was in England in 2005 for the Ashes then, and what a boost to the cricketing world that was, particularly in England. But if we could have a series like that in Australia, I think it'd be great for everyone.
I mean, mate, some of the decks though. I mean, you scored bulk runs in the UK in the Ashes. You were a player of the series in the 2015? 2015 Ashes, 450, 500 runs, something like that in the series.
What was it exactly?
No, he's pretty good. I think it was about 450. Yeah.
Yeah. So. It was 480. You've been
480, yeah, 60. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sorry.
He was holding on.
I don't remember the stats, but
shifting in his seat. 480, 63.
Yeah. But everyone's breaking records, right, Buck, with this in these summers. Every Indian's just gone past great records like Shubman Gill, Rishabh Pant, highest runs scored by wicketkeeper. Jadeja most runs by an overseas number 6 or something. It's incredible. Like you must be looking at the decks and being like, I would love to have battled those, especially with the new Jukes ball as well, which does fuck all.
Yeah, I mean, I played in that game where I think we got bowled out for 63, and then in the second innings, we fought back, and it was I don't know, it was over 65 or 66, and England had it hooping around corners. So, right. It's been interesting to watch. Probably more how Bazball want to play, and they want to play on these real flat wickets where their batters can kind of take it on and dominate the bowlers and take the game away. So, yeah, I don't envision that the pitches will be that friendly for them over here. I've already, I can't remember who the legend was, but said that England won't be able to play Bazball over here. But, that hopefully they come over with that kind of mentality and we do get some decent decks and it makes for a really good series.
Do you, you're saying this series has been entertaining. NASA's talking about needing it for Test cricket. We were arguing earlier on the show that the entertainment derived largely from the fact they'll just evenly match teams. So when the games are close, it's entertaining. Do you sense that the teams may be evenly matched for the Ashes, given the conditions and everything? Or do you think England can take it to Australia?
It's a good question because historically they've been poor over here, apart from probably one good series from memory in recent times. So them trying to understand the conditions is going to be interesting. But what you would say is they have a lot of players who feel backed and are in good form and are good players as well. So they're bringing that kind of confidence over, which I don't reckon they've had before. From that point of view, I think that they'll be as confident as they have been in recent times. And on the flip side, Australia have got some real kind of question marks over, particularly what's happening at the top of the order. So there's some vulnerabilities there, and so I mean it's set up for an awesome series. It'll just be how, I guess, each side can pick apart the other, but that's cricket, isn't it? I'm not saying anything new there, but yeah, like I said, I just hope it's a great one, and I think one of the key ones here will be Stokes as well. If he can bowl big overs, that's going to lengthen England's batting, and that's going to make a bit of a difference.
You faced Mark Wood before in previous Ashes. I don't think you faced Jofra, have you? No, but I mean, Steve Finn was knocking about at the time when you were playing, and he was wheels, Finny. He was 150 plus, right? I mean, so like, what does it do to the mindset when you've got like Finn and Wood coming at you at the same time? I mean, you obviously had Broad and Anderson, who are fine bowlers, of course, especially in England, but like that raw pace. And like out here as well, where they get the extra bounce and carry, typically speaking anyway, I mean, that'd be a huge advantage for them. But I mean, what was it like for you facing Wood and Finn?
Wood was interesting because I haven't got him, I got him a little bit earlier. He was a bit more inconsistent then. He'd bowl kind of a rocket ball out of nowhere. So it'd be a little bit innocuous, a bit skiddy, kind of come on. And then all of a sudden you get one that was like 7 or 8 kilometres quicker and no real change in the action or anything like that. It just must have got his rhythm right, and that was quite hard because when they're inconsistent, it's hard for you to be consistent. So I found him quite challenging. Finney was an interesting one. He, I mean, I was on a WhatsApp group with the Middlesex boys, so I was like, "There's no way this is going to get me out." So it was, yeah. So I. And he never did. So, but he did bowl. He probably bowled a ball that made me retire, which is funny enough. Because it was that was my last series, and I remember asking people, because it was in the back of my mind, when do you know about retirement? And I swear everyone answered with, "You know when you know." And I was like, what the hell does that mean? You know when you know. And then I got concussion in the Lord's Test, and I retired hurt in the second innings, and then came back, and in the third Test, we won the toss and batted on on a green top. Well done, pup. And then and anyway, I batted for a bit, and he came in. He bowled me a ball. It was an absolute rocket, and I just didn't move. I didn't move, and I could hear it like come past my head. Just miss me. And that was the moment. I was like, I can't move. If he'd bowled that straight, he would have cleaned me up. So I was like, that was my moment. I got to get through this series, and then I'm probably done.
And then you peeled off like 120.
How many did you make that game?
No. I'd probably got my runs at the start of the season. At the start of the series, I managed to get 50 in that innings, but I didn't have much success after that. I was
Still got 50.
There we go.
Yeah. It wasn't one of the 7 in a row for a world record. It wasn't. This was later on.
More. So Uzi obviously doesn't know. Right?
Uzi
I know you like won't like comment on that, but that's a subplot of this Ashes, right? You know, one of the reasons that, I was really keen to speak to you because there's a lot of conjecture over the openers of both sides, right? You know, like I'd love to hear what you think about Crawley and Duckett and stuff, but let's talk about the Aussie openers. I mean, so you've just talked about your experience of being, retired by a rocket where you didn't move. You know, do you see that being a risk for Khawaja, who will be turning 39, to be clear? The people will mayo that to 40 this summer, but he's turning 39. He'll be facing some pretty serious wheels if they're fit. You know, do you see that as a challenge for him?
Oh, I think it's a challenge as you get older. I always used to think I'm picking the ball up as well. I'm just not reacting as quickly. So my eyes weren't going. It was just, I couldn't move. But that's up to him to decide that, and everyone does this. I mean, my 39's a different person's 39 as well, that kind of thing. So that's just up to Uzi to kind of realise when the time is right. And clearly from his point of view, he hasn't got to that moment when. So, he's still a fine player, highly skilled, and he's going to be important. I think if we're going to win, hopefully then he can set the tone from the top. So, but yeah, the one thing you do know is Father Time's never been beaten. So, and he'll know too that his time is coming. It's just it's probably I'm sure he would have loved this challenge maybe 2 years earlier. But he is where he is, and he's fighting his heart out. So hopefully he can have some success.
And there's another spot there to open the batting, right? I mean, I think that's not conjecture. Ronnie's basically said Constance would need runs as the incumbent.
Yeah.
So you've got a stake in this as a coach of Victoria, and some openers that will want to have a say.
Yeah.
But like, how are you seeing that position? Who do you see as the contenders? Who do you like as one question? And if I could bolt another one on, like, what's your view on the importance of a specialist opener rather than the current policy, which is just get the best 6 and figure out the order?
Yeah, look, as an opening bat, I'm a bit defensive around that. That's my belief that it is a specialist position. There's a lot of intricacies that go in with it. So, I think it is a clear role, and you want to be pretty proficient at it. So, I think an out-and-out opener is the way. The one thing that's not really discussed, and I've thought about this, is, I mean, if you could, when was the last time we had an amazing right-handed opening batter? Even let alone 2, right? That kind of. I mean, Joe Burns was pretty good. And then before then, I mean, you're going back to slats kind of thing. That stuff. So I think with the LBW rule, a left-handed opening batter is advantageous. So when Uzi retires, who are going to be the openers? And I think you probably are looking for at least one left-hander in that situation. So I'm probably looking at it from a left-handed point of view at the moment. I think that they just, because of the historical and the data that it suggests. So, Weatherald's obviously going really well. I think Campbell Kellaway, his last 2 games for Victoria, when it kind of clicked, I think he, I saw a player who could definitely open the batting for Australia. Whether he's got a bit more to go with his game, but you never know. So yeah, they're the kind of ones I'm looking at. I have a suspicion that they might go back to Marnus to fill that.
Where's that suspicion
role.
come from? Like why?
I just suspect that they probably realise, and even some of the chat around it, they probably feel like they've asked a lot of Constas, and then to put him through an Ashes, it would be really, really tough if things go bad. That's and he's I think he's going to be a very, very good player. But I look at it from a point of view of in this series he had to go out and bat just like 6 overs, before stumps, and that's a thing you learn as an opening batter. And I'm trying to think how many times would he have done that in his professional career up to date. He might have done it twice. So you're learning how to do that skill for the national side in front of like everyone. The media is going to rip you apart when you don't do it. Social media, all that kind of stuff. I feel for him because that's bloody hard. And he got out chasing a wide one, and that's the one every day of the week with 6 overs to go. You're just let that one go. Happy birthday. You got to bowl at me kind of thing. So little things like that. I think they might have felt that they're asking a lot. Equally, they know he's super talented. It's just a balance. Do they let him go back now and really, now that he knows a lot of the questions he's going to get, he can come up with the answers and then come back an improved player, perhaps.
Just on that point of the decks, Buck. Like when I'm watching it, like watching Boomer last summer out here on our decks that they've tailored for our bowlers, and then the West Indies, like. They're like mistakes have been made in the technique, right? But I'm looking at it like it looks so fucking hard. Like, and I wonder like what you think about. Am I overestimating how hard it actually is? Because like in the West Indies, for instance, I mean they bowled them out for 28. They actually won too well because it sort of like voids the series. You know what I mean? Like it is going around corners. It's decking the pace attack of Seals. And two Josephs, like it was bloody impressive. Plus a pink ball in there, and then like Boomerang in Australia. Like I didn't see a lot of guys doing well at all. But like, should we expect more from the Australian cricket team?
I will say that what's underestimated is just how tough those West Indies wickets are against the new ball. I went to West Indies before that 15 Ashes, and I got hit in the head the day before. I got concussion leading into the first test. So I missed both the tests. Might have been a bit hungover, but that's another story.
Yeah, I've been concussed.
Anyway.
I'm concussed now.
Yeah.
And so I remember watching, because Sean Marsh came in to open the batting and he was opening with Davey. And I just remember like looking at these balls. It was uneven. Uh-huh. And when the pitches are uneven, that's when it really causes you to second guess. Like you're kind of sitting there and going, is this going to kick off a length and hit me, between the eyes kind of thing? And then you don't move as well. You don't get into the ball. And I feel if you watch those pitches, they were uneven and it made it really, really tough. And even that's a learning thing as well, So, I felt for the top order there because I thought, geez, that's bloody hard, and they bowled pretty well. They were good. One bloke's bowling, mid 140s or high 140s. That's not fun. So probably 2 of them actually. But so it is tough, and the wickets here will probably be tough with the new ball as well. But that's your role as an opener.
That's what it is.
And that's what you get paid the bucks for. Like to say the big bucks, but in a ways. But it's
there's a pay issue going on.
But that's the challenge. So I think that's. I always remember we used to open the batting with Mike Hussey, and he always. It was great for me because he'd always like, oh, come on, we've got to do a job for the team. We've got to do a job for the team, and that really helped me a lot through, because sometimes it'd be like, what if I get a 20 off 70 balls here. I've actually done a really good job for the team, kind of thing. It's not always just about me going out and get the big score.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. What did like JL say to you when you opened the batting with him?
My favourite. You remember JL used to kind of walk down and walk all the way to the non-striker and tap the bat and stuff like that. And he actually, someone asked him. I've heard this secondhand, but he got asked that in a sporty. I said, like, what did you say? And he said, I used to walk down and say, you're ready, you're there. And then what did the other guy say? And Haydos was like, yeah, come on, let's do this. And Huss was like, yeah. And Buck wouldn't say anything. And I was too busy, like, piss off down the other end, mate. You do but no, I still look back, and some of my favourite times opening batting was with him, because he used to take the fight to another level, and he would drag you up, and you'd be so immersed in the fight. It was brilliant. So,
yeah.
But yeah, some things like that, jog on, mate. You do your job, I'll do mine.
When you when you came into the Australian side, like you must have scored a million first class runs. You were so ready, and like when that opportunity came around, I don't recall the circumstances of how you got your first gig for Australia, but I mean, for a young guy now, like you're looking at the team, and it's about to break up at some point, and there are opportunities there, especially at the top of the order, right? It feels like. So, I mean, if you're a young guy, it must have been you probably like think about when it was like for you. You're like, this is my chance. I can play for the Australian cricket team in the next couple of months if I get it right.
And when you were about to break in, were you actively hunting a position?
Yeah, actively hunting,
like Jake Weatherald said he is.
Yeah.
Yes. It's funny because when I was kind of mid-20s and going pretty well, I still reckon the Australian cricket side was the best side that ever walked over a rope kind of thing. And it was like, no, I'm never playing for Australia, because there was Langer, Hayden, Ponting, as a top three, let alone, there's unbelievably good players in the middle order as well. So I never really thought about it until then. Hayden and Langer retired. And then it was a bat off. Then I'd have a bat off with. I remember having a bat off with Phil Jakes, and one day I got 96 or something like that, and came off and he'd got 170 kind of thing. So
right.
So it was. It was. I mean, the first thing you do, you check how the other bloke went, kind of thing. Yeah. And it's really tough. Like I felt for Marcus Harris last year, because I think he got into the bit of that phase. And you become just a bit preoccupied with other things that are out of your control. So you just forget about it. Just play what's in front of you, compete, try and win the next ball, and that's all you can really do. But yeah, it's a challenge within a challenge. So and it can get the better of you. So but equally, you find out the people who can deal with pressure a little bit at times, who are ready. But yeah, probably the first time I got into that situation, I shit the bed, and then I shouldn't swear, because I was going to say I can't really get my son to listen to this after you've dropped the F-bomb twice there, Higo. But yeah,
sorry, Buck.
Yeah, he's only 10 anyway. But yeah, I think even that, the next time around, I was better at it. But yeah, that's part of it. You're competing with other people, and that's how it should be.
Harry's batting 4 in county cricket. Is that a new thing for him, or will he open when he comes back?
I think he's recognised that some of the pitches we play on are pretty bloody hard. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, most importantly is where you get run. That you're getting runs. And then, I think that we'll figure out where he's going to bat for Victoria.
So just on England's openers, just put with your specialist hat on as well. Do you think? Let's talk about Zach Crawley, for example. He averaged 32 for this series against India. A couple of impressive knocks, and then just ends up averaging 32, which is his test average. But he's been retained in the side because the belief is that he is particularly well placed to succeed in conditions in Australia, and that he's played well against Australia at times. How do you I guess how do you rate his skills as an opener in these conditions?
Good question, mate. Look, I wish I'd played that many tests, averaging that little. But anyway, he's obviously very skillful. Like he can bat, and when he's at his best, it's it's brilliant, that kind of thing. I think that the flip side with that, as a selector and even as a teammate, is that you're hoping that he comes off and everything's great, but potentially more often than not, it's not going to happen, and then you've got to kind of fill the hole. So, it depends and it's up to them and their selection and what they want from that role. And if they want someone who's aggressive and can put pressure back on the bowlers, then so be it. And that may be what his role is to try and just knock the bowlers off their length, and not just sit there and be a bit of a sitting duck. So, I don't, if they're going to back him in, that's one of the great things they've done. They've backed him in through thick and thin, and it's going to be a real interesting test for him when he comes over here, because it will be challenging. The good thing, I think, is he's surrounded by very good batters as well. Like I think Ben Duckett's I love the way he bats. Not always the ramps, but it's the way he how efficient he is with his hands, how he scores square. Even how he defends, I think is high class. So and then obviously they've got a pretty good middle order as well.
If Australia can get through Crawley, then, I mean, Duckett to me, and I played third grade, so what do I know? But Pope to me is like, it's nicking. It's very nicky in Australia. And then it exposes Root. I mean, there's so much talk about, Joe Root not scoring 100. I think his record in Australia is actually still pretty good. I think he averages 40 plus or something in Australia. It's still good, but like, Australia would be desperate for him to not have a good series. But where do you sit with Harry Brook in Australia?
Yeah.
Just bump him, just sniffs?
I mean, maybe, because we have the bigger fields. So, are those kind of ones he doesn't get out of the middle, are they going for 6, or are they landing a metre inside the boundary, with the bigger boundaries that we have? So I think there'll be a bit of that, as they'll take him on from that point of view. But I don't think he's going to die wondering as well. And then if he does get conditions that suit, and even sometimes in low-scoring games, a guy like that can bat for an hour and a half, and he can change the complexion of the game. So, whether he needs to go and get big hundreds, or whether he just has great little cameos and shifts the scoreboard forward, that could be just as vital as well. But the one thing you do know is he's going to come and he's going to put pressure on, and if you don't get it right as a bowling unit, he's going to punish you.
When Cam Green occupied the number 3 position at the start of the Windies tour, there were definitely question marks, and the criticism was that he looked wooden and he looked timid, and by the end of the series he appears to have gained a whole lot of respect, a couple of fighting 50s, and the ability to soak up pressure and put a bit of pressure back on the bowlers, and innings that kind of made a fair difference in really low scoring games. I mean, from a technical specialist perspective, do you like Green at 3 with how he bats? Do you think they'll keep him there?
I think they'll keep him there. I mean, I think they like Webster as well, so that there's balance in around that. What I will say is, at 25, or I think he's around 25, I was still trying to learn my game, that kind of thing. I didn't know my game in and inside out, and you'd have some great innings, but then you'd have some innings where you walk out and you'd feel like, I don't even know which end of the bat to hold, kind of thing. So, we look at him as an Australian player, and you're almost comparing him to a Ricky Ponting or something like that. But this kid is still learning his craft as his constancy is. So what probably the great sign with all this was, he started badly, but he was able to problem solve and figure a few things out and then start to have a little bit of success as well. So that, I think that augurs well for him, and his skill and his ability and problem solving as well. So I mean, going in about number 3 once again on those pitches would have been really tough, but he found a bit of a way towards the end. So that's a really good sign.
You mentioned before about like Harry batting 4, for instance, at the moment. There's probably easy to score runs there at the top. I'd like to know 2 things, like how hard is it at the moment at Shield cricket against the new ball, like around the country? And also, I think it's most likely that Marnus probably is in the 11. And I think it's probably because like it seems to be in international cricket, once guys reach the international level in either white ball cricket or red ball cricket, they sort of like that and they'll figure out the rest. Like I think Ronnie said before, top 6 batters in the country and we'll figure it out, right? So, is that also because like there's a situation where the bat off happens and it's really hard to bat in Shield cricket in November. The ball's moving around. We actually don't learn too much, and also you don't want to put a young guy into an Ashes series because an Ashes series is just insane pressure. I'd imagine you could actually end someone's career at 23 probably by playing in an Ashes series and it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, when it came to the Ashes, it is dialed up. It's dialed up 100. So it's non-stop. It's intense, and you probably ideally you want someone who has had success that can fall upon. If it goes wrong, they have something that they can fall back on. Mm-hmm. So. And that's probably why your suspicion is that they'll go for Marnus as well. So, that wouldn't surprise me. It probably isn't ideal just because Marnus hasn't had the success lately he would have wanted. But maybe that I think when they're looking at what's coming up, this is one of the the most important things in the T20 World Cup next year as well. So here it is. You probably do back in those more experienced players, and then in other opportunities you might look to kind of develop the younger ones as well. But so I think your suspicions might be pretty good. Yeah.
Sorry, Pez, like, and how hard is it like opening the batting at the moment? Because at the same time, like Weatherald's the leading run scorer in the Shield, and he's opening the batting for Tassie, and Constas scored multiple hundreds opening the batting as well to get himself that Boxing Day test. So like, it's like I keep getting told it's really hard. I'm not watching it, but like I mean, like tell me how hard it is, Buck.
I thought everyone watched Shield cricket.
I had a pretty funny exchange between you two at a Shield game once. To be honest.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
Was he drunk or was it?
No. There was no WW that you thought it was out, and I thought, I said it's missing leg, and then you walked out and said, "What do you know?"
What would you know?
I didn't say how many tests did you play.
It was awesome.
How hard is it opening the batting? It is. It's bloody hard.
But more so now than in the past. Like, I don't know, Uzi says this, it's the double lack of ball and the decks are different now and whatever.
I'll tell you this, I walk up and the amount of times now I walk out to have a look at the pitch and I can't even see the pitch is, I can't see the pitch because it's just a carpet of grass. And I've said this for a while, I think the groundsman under so much pressure to get it right. So where there's a result, it doesn't get too flat. And the Kookaburra does do a bit, but it tends to kind of get a bit softer and flatten out, a bit like Haydos alluded to.
So just to be clear, Haydos the other day was saying he's got a pod with Bluey and James Brayshaw, and he said, check it out, and he said, I can't remember what it was word for word, but the gist of it was that the Kookaburra goes to shit after 20 overs, and then it's happy birthday, fill your boots. It's not what I've seen in Australian cricket the last couple of years. 20 overs, happy birthday, fill your boots.
I'd say he's right in many respects. I think I'm not going to say that about the Kookaburra ball, but I would say it definitely does a fair bit, and then it probably gets a bit softer, and then it flattens out, and that's when the groundsmen have to leave enough in it so it's still a good contest, that kind of thing. But then for the first 20 overs, it's real tough.
Okay.
I hope that makes sense. But
and can I be clear? I don't think he actually said it goes to shit either. Just for Kookaburra, he says something to that effect.
It goes real soft or something.
But yeah, so and then that's why they're leaving it. So you walk out there and it's like, well, I can't, and that to be fair didn't really happen back in my day. Like, you would walk out and there'd be grass on the pitch, but you could still see the pitch. But now it's like a carpet of grass. Sometimes it's beautiful. Look at that. You'd love that as your carpet inside, or your backyard kind of thing. But yeah, so I do think that we've probably skewed that way. I think even I've been lucky enough to see that the stats and the data and fast bowling is averaging almost half as much as spin is in our country, that kind of thing. Whereas in other parts in the world, it's the opposite, isn't it? So, but that's how we play our cricket. And I guess if you're going to be an opener, you know what's coming. I think as a selector, and even as a fan, reward the people who are doing, bloody hard work at the top at times.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of low averages, and it's sacrilege to discuss this because, the Stark, Hazelwood and Cummins are the cartel. They've got a brand around them. They operate as a trio, and and there's full respect for that as a trio. But, who's gonna jump out there and say, perhaps Scott Boland should get a start in the first three of those four quicks, because as Higgins was saying the other day, it's like, what is he's averaging 15? Not enough. What do we want from him? What do we need? What do you need from you, Scotty? 12, and we'll give you a berth. What are we looking at? You're his coach. Yeah. Do you want to be that guy?
I'd love to be a national selector, and then then I probably would pick him. But that's because I am the Victorian coach. I'm allowed to say that. Look, I think I get to talk to Scotty quite a bit, and it's really interesting hearing his reflection. I don't hear him complaining at all. He knows his lot. He knows that he's bowling in the era of there's three outstanding bowlers, and he just happens to be in and around them. If you asked him, mate, if you went in and were one of the first picked, would you do a good job? He'd say, bloody oath I would, But he's also he recognises just the challenge he has and how good those other three are. So I'll probably leave it at that, I reckon.
Do you would have seen Nathan Lyon say that he was upset. He sort of vocalised it. He voiced that he was upset not playing in Stark's 100 Test match, that pink ball test, and then Barrel gets a hat trick and they bowl him out for 28. So
pretty good value for the selection.
Gaz could have done a job. He could have done a job. We don't know. Do you think in any way that there'll be a time in this series coming up in the summer where Australia will play 4 fast bowlers?
No,
and no line.
No. It back to that pitch, those pitches over in the West Indies. I think when it's up and down, as a batter, you're like, do I have to face Scott Boland or Nathan Lyon? I'm taking Nathan Lyon every day of the week, kind of thing. And how cricket can play over here, I think you always have to have in the back of your mind this could flatten out, and if 3 quicks can't do it, what's necessarily the 4th quick going to do?
Plus slug and grainy.
Yeah, and exactly, and then having that variation in Nath, I think is crucial in Australia. So I would say that.
Buck, we just wanted to get you in to just start whetting the appetite for people ahead of the summer. I mean, we're previewing the Ashes on the 5th of August. And I think people will be up and about. You're going to be very, very busy during the summer, so I doubt we'll get the chance to see you, particularly if your earlier comments on the pod or anything to go by. We're lucky to get you today, it seems. But
600th, I reckon. I dread to see what kind of office you'll have then. 600.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, good to see you enjoying
Mansion.
our success. And will fans? Yeah, Australians have funny ways of complimenting each other. But
I look forward to it there.
yeah. Will punters get to hear you through the summer? I think you're one of the best commentators in the game. When you're there, like one of the best observers of cricket. Will you get a chance to say anything or commentate, or are you interested?
I hadn't even given a thought, to be honest.
Well, that's media trained.
Yeah. Wait and see. I didn't do it. Haven't done it the last couple of years. Last year? I can't remember. But this is a special occasion. So,
do you like doing it?
I do. I do like doing it. I don't love everything about commentating. I don't like even like this. I don't like waking up and then maybe reading your comments back and going, oh shit, did I say that? And then I hope that person's not offended. But I can be a little bit sensitive at times. You blokes probably aren't. But anyway. Well,
I've just been swearing at your 10-year-old son.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed the chat about South Africa, leading into the World Test Championship.
Well, so do those boys, apparently.
Yeah. It's amazing how many people got in touch privately, said, love that, mate. Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
But,
I don't think they quite understood the sarcasm, but they don't know you blokes. But yeah, so anyway, it'd be great to be involved, I think, because it is. And hopefully it is a great series. I think we've been crying out for one on these shorts for a while.
Mate, I hope you're involved. I think your observations are awesome. Mate, thanks for coming in, dropping in today. Just 43 minutes of a bloke who's like in the middle of Australian cricket at the moment. Obviously played the Ashes and knows everything that we're actually pretending to know about. So very much appreciated, mate. Thanks for joining us on 300.
I think I get a free pack of Tim Tams out of this. So I'm pretty happy. Thanks, boys.
Thank you very much to Chris Rogers for coming on the show. How many times has Buck been on the show? I want to say 3.
Yeah,
he did a live show with us in Canberra.
Yep, true.
Yeah, a great friend of the show. Yeah, and a great bloke as well. Let's talk about some Australia stuff, Pezza. Australia has a 6-game white ball series in Darwin, Cairns and Mackay. They play 3 T20s and 3 ODIs against South Africa. The first T20 is on Sunday night, Australia time, in Darwin. The first 2 T20s are also in Darwin. Third is in Cairns. The first ODI is also in Cairns, and the last 2 ODIs are in Mackay. And I think we're better to play the host, to host the World Test Champions than in regional Australia in August. No, it's going to be exciting for those people that get to see.
Mate, Darwin's fucking awesome. I think they should play more cricket there. Guaranteed weather. There's no other cricket around it. A lot of ODI cricket isn't fucking watched anyway. So may as well bring it to people that want it. And
first time in 17 years, I think.
Yeah, hell yeah. Great to
for Darwin.
Great place to go. I think it's going to be sick. And yeah, the Aussies are winning heaps of white ball cricket apparently.
Yeah.
And I think they've got 11 more T20 games before the World Cup. World Cup just starting to hover in around the corner.
Yeah.
Australians famously get behind the T20.
Oh, yeah.
Get behind T20 cricket, but the team's good. So, and then South Africa's bringing a couple of blokes out. I think they've got it's Markram and Rabada will be out there.
Bavuma's playing as well.
Bavuma. But I think there's a whole bunch missing as well. I think they don't have Miller, Klaasen, Nortje, Janssen, Maharaj, but they have Markram, Rabada, and Geedy, Stubbsy, and Devald Brevis. Okay. So they've got a good team, and for Australia, Hedy's back in, Hoff's back in. Yep.
And Mitch Owen's been called up to the ODI squad as well, which is good for him, exciting for him. Marnus has also been retained in the ODI squad to play against South Africa. He obviously did not play for Australia, in the series that Jake Weatherald turned up. So Australia play 8 games also against India in October and November. They play 3 ODIs and 5 T20s. The last of the T20s is in Brisbane. That's 13 days before the first Ashes test in Perth. I'm not sure which squad they're going to roll out for that one. But so before the India series, though, as you were mentioning before, Australia go to New Zealand in October to play 3 T20s. So from now, they have got They've got 14 T20s
14 is it?
before the Ashes. 3 T20s against South Africa.
Before the World Cup.
Well, I'm not sure if they're going to play something before after the Ashes, before the World Cup. But it's before the Ashes, yeah. So 3 T20s against South Africa, 3 in New Zealand, and then 5 against. No wait, yeah, 5 against India. So what's that? 11. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Sorry, my mistake.
Well, thank God for that.
Yeah, thank God for that. Now that's all cleared up. Sorry, I was counting some ODIs in there. And of course, the women have their ODI World Cup in India. That's their first game is against New Zealand, October 1. And I read today tickets for the WBBL are on sale now too, which means that summer's around the corner.
What's par for 5 T20s, 3 ODIs against South Africa? I mean, last time we played South Africa, we're pretty punchy about what we're expecting.
Well, I want to know who
I know, watching it on the bus. So.
Mate, South Africa are fucking shit.
Use cunt. Look, I'm happy to give South Africa 1 or 2 games in this. This isn't an 8-0 situation. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 8-0, 5-3. Yeah. But happy to sometimes you're gonna have to experiment.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that chop and change.
Yeah, sometimes better to go back. You have to go backwards to go forward. You have to go backwards to go forwards. I know it's a little bit contradictory to think about, but a couple of different combinations might be tried. South Africa might jag a couple, but really.
Look, there's an argument that South Africa might have one of their greatest ever group of players right now.
Yeah.
World Test Championships, World Cup final in the Caribbean for the T20s last time, semi-finalists in the ODI World Cup before then. Great moment, great players, winners now. But if they win so much as a power play,
yeah, look at this T20 squad. I mean, it's just IPL players from South Africa.
Yeah,
Markram, Bosch, he's at Mumbai.
Big John,
Ryan Rickelton opens batting for Mumbai. Tristan Stubbs, Brevis, CSK. It's a decent side.
Yeah.
So
Darwin though.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if South Africa win either of these series, firstly, that's unthinkable. and secondly, what does that mean for the Ashes? I mean, if Cam Green's in these squads, I mean, if he's not coming back averaging 50 plus and striking at over 150, I think there's concerns.
Yes. But at the same time, Canberra top of the table, Collingwood sliding down the table. Yeah. That's where the focus is right now.
Interesting. Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Unless we do well. In which
and the
case
style Australia's playing might be worthwhile as well to just have a look at and to keep an eye on.
Yeah, that's right. And Pakistan have just beaten the West Indies in their 3-match T20 series. So that series now is completely void with Australia winning every game over there.
Cricket.com.au. So I'm just having a look at this. Everything you need to know, and I like that one of the subheadings is new kits ?
Oh,
no. No, money down. No new playing forms, uniforms for the Aussies. That will come in later this summer. But we haven't kind of planned this. But you have seen the new sponsor.
Yeah, well, because England stole Toyota. So
yeah, what are we thinking of this in terms of just your power rankings of like is there Big Four banks safety with Westpac? Look, notwithstanding whatever sizable contribution they are making to Australian cricket and and funding everything therein, that's just red.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's like Westpac is red.
It's red, yeah. Well, they've got the Westpac helicopter, which puts fires out. So
that's I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Have you thought about Elvis?
No, just like it's just not a contrasting. It's just not the correctly contrasting color with the kit.
I'll challenge you on that. What about the Qantas? What about the Qantas logo for the away series?
Qantas isn't fucking sitting like a fucking like a target practice. When you're playing Qantas is subtle, you know, and it's sitting across your chest region, and like, but the emotions I'm conveying here belie my like care about it.
Yeah.
But it looks different. It's an optic, and when you play cricket with white clothes and a red ball, and there's just a big red thing sitting there, it's just like it's not working for me.
Would I be right in saying, speaking of a red, like that when Australia lost the Ashes in 2011 out here, that was Vodafone was the sponsorship. That's red. I think we should have a 3 sponsorship.
Case closed.
Let's bring that back. Let's bring 3 back.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, it's money. You know, it's coin. It's bulk coin, and that's, you know, we've only lamented maybe 6 or 7 times in the last 2 episodes the lack of a sponsor. So 1-0 CA on getting one.
Yeah, how'd you guys
to begin
do it?
with? Yeah, and maybe it's because they don't, you know, lambast sponsors on the show. But I'm just you know, and look. It's like when they used to change Facebook, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, fuck's this? What the fuck's this?
Yeah.
You know, and then you just get used to it and just play on.
Yeah. You're at a Bulldogs game, it seems like.
Yeah, I don't know why that had to manifest in a sort of, So, anyway, it's just a couple of thoughts.
Anyway, suckmydickgambling.com.
We didn't, just again here, we didn't give enough flowers to Zorby on 100 T20Is last week as well, I felt. I just, he played his 5th one against the Windies, and even just playing 100 T20Is shows commitment to the cause. He's only the 4th Australian man to do it. He's in conversations about Australia's greatest ever white ball bowler. People might crow's feet that. Look at the numbers. He's in and amongst your Starks, your Warnes, etc. You know, in terms of the numbers that he's put up and the successes he's been part of. So, and I know, you know, it means a lot to him. So 100 T20Is, Zorb, respect on his name.
A dual World Cup winner. Pretty good. But weird. So, let's talk about Jake Weatherald, who's actively hunting an Ashes spot. It's all just culminating at the right time, Weatherald said. He's talking to SEN Tasmania, I believe. After the series, I was told, congratulations, well done on making the runs. How'd you feel? All that sort of stuff. Then they sort of said, if you keep going well, then there are opportunities in the future, but that's about as far as it goes. Asked whether he hoped to open the batting during the summer's Ashes campaign, Weatherald responded, definitely. I'm not going to lie. I'm actively hunting that spot. I like it.
Oh, made up. So we were saying last week, Weatherald's runs are like, I understand it now runs, given his background, and now it's actively hunting runs. I mean, to me, like that's a completely new sheen and lens over whatever he's doing at Bell Reeve when I'm looking up scores and, you know, exhaling through the nose. I mean, these are like, so if there's 3 figures next to his name and he's been out there saying, I'm actively hunting this spot, I mean, that's exactly where you want your player to be, right?
I mean, not
most players don't say it, but he's, and I don't know how do you actively hunt?
Well, not since McGrath have we had a player that's done that.
They won't run. That's all yours, but I suppose there's a few conservationists snapping their necks. You know, not again.
Pidge, no,
Pidge.
What a bowler!
But I mean, it's the rhetoric you want to hear.
Yes, I do.
Actively hunting. There's just it's evocative as
I'd
well.
like to know more about the backstory, about the family situation.
Are we at
friends,
that level?
Clubs. Like, is there a club coach knocking about? You know, did he always?
Not yet. No, that's not part of the PR. He needs. I think he probably needs 2 tons or 2 big scores, and then you roll out the old coaches.
Okay.
I think that so you don't want to go too soon on that. You want to hit that PR note probably around October, like mid-October or something. That's when you start getting guys like, and Jake was always a special player. Weatherald, who earlier this year claimed he was actively hunting a position. You know, that's sort of
right.
And then that's when you get the big momentum, the big mo. They call it. And he's got a shaved head at the moment, I think, which will.
Right.
So
that's something.
I think the brand is coming together.
Mm-hmm. Is there ink? I think there might be ink with Weatherald.
If he's like, you know, if someone's actively hunting a role, then it kind of implies that someone's defending a role. someone's basically game.
Right.
Constas and Kawaja.
someone's a sitting duck.
Constas and Kawaja are like, pheasants.
Yeah.
You know, in the English.
Weatherald rolls in with a skinhead, romper stopper.
Jarhead.
Doc Martin's untied
Yeah,
up, and he's basically playing buck hunter at the pub.
Exactly. Jake Gyllenhaal, Jarhead. He's home, PTSD, with a massive rifle and
he brings his own gun to play buck hunter.
exactly.
Brings it in from home. He's firing live ammunition at an LED screen.
Exactly. What do you call those bother boots? You know, like he's got his Doc Martens. I was actually thinking Duncan Fernley's, but that's a bat. And he's just walking around, and he's and Constas and Kawaja are pheasants, and they're actually a pest.
Yeah.
They're actually a pest.
You need to understand.
Look at the Botham conversation with those Scottish kids.
Yeah. Now, speaking of pests, here's what Dave Warner said en route. The big anchor there is Rudy, who is yet to score 100 in Australia. Hazelwood tends to have his number quite a lot. He'll have to take the surfboard off his front leg. That was then put into a nice clean graphic from the Barmy Army. And then Stuart Broad quote retweeted that. And he said, I've never heard England's best ever batter's front pad called a surfboard. 2 crying laugh emojis. Just for clarity, Hazelwood has got Rooty LBW in Test cricket 3 times. 3. To which, of course, then Fox Cricketer then put a graphic listing all the people that have got Root out and the amount of times. So Cummins and Bumrah have got Root 11 times in Tests, and then Hazelwood's got him 10 times in 18 Tests. So, geez, I guess this could be a long next few months.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, one of those ones where it's like it's not necessarily like one good guy and one bad guy.
No,
you know what I mean? So it's hard.
not necessarily. No.
I mean, there's a few like angles to this as well. Look, we're recording this before we've spoken to Buck. I hope we asked Buck about it as well. But like, to me, this is a little bit of a failure of the like. I'm glad Bull is doing some PR for Hoff here, you know, because most of the you know the rabbit pie chat around Root is Cummins just taking his bails. You know what I mean? Like most of the stuff you see, the montages are of Cummins just bowling these absolute seeds to Joe Root. So you normally associate, you know, Root being Cummins' bunny. But, you know, now look, Warner's alerted us to the fact that that Hoff likes to blow his shin off too a couple of times. Don't you worry about that. Yeah. I wonder what impact, what insights that might give into Warner's own stories when it comes to those 3 bowlers. You know what I mean? Like who he's currying favour with or not. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. Okay. Yep.
And then there's Broad getting involved as well, which is good. And Broad just announced to be working with Channel 7. Right. It's a great result. Great result for all concerned. Right. And Broad's, you know, commenced his run up to it. So it's all pantomime stuff. Yep. Warner's doing this interview with the BBC to promote the 100 and his appearance in the 100. So
it's with the London Spirit, I think.
Okay. Is it
blue one?
Is it a like in the Broad spirit? Like, is it he knows what he's doing? Media lines. Like, I'm just gonna throw something out there about a surfboard on Root's front pad. Next minute, 100. You know, promoted. Thanks very much, guys. There you go.
I doubt it.
Warner's going for the he knows what he's doing media line, but no one's buying it.
Yeah, you know.
Did you know the 100's on as a result of that?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well,
no, I didn't.
No.
I don't really know what it is, but you know how it's like English fans will get very upset whenever like Nathan Lyon's out in the press or Josh Hazelwood's out in the press or Warner just speaks. Generally speaking, you know, like they get upset like that. That's also how. You know, conversely, Australians feel when, you know, English players are talking about, like, how good they are and they haven't done it. You know, so, like, both sides have some, like, how you go and chat through the press. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
100% I know.
It's a long series.
Yeah, I mean, if you're sitting there going, like, you know, taking issue with some of the garbage that England comes out with, and you hear Warner, and you're like, quite like that.
Yeah, get him, Davey. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Root's got a serve. I mean, it's quite a like. I agree with. I haven't heard that phrase before.
I've not heard it before.
Yeah,
Either.
I don't. But I'm open to it. I mean, I think everyone's always open to like some international team terminology. You know what I mean? If something's coming through, you haven't heard. Like we heard like the white cake.
Yeah,
you know, pink cake.
Take
red
us inside
cake.
the group. Make me feel like I'm part of the tubs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I sort of understand the imagery. Like he's got a surfboard for a front pad.
It's a huge, big board.
Yeah.
Like that you're putting yourself in front of, so it's a big target.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Just not heard
Walking out with a massive surfboard, like strapped to you. But I'd never really associated Joe Root with like a Shane Watson pad, for example.
Right,
Like you associate
right,
with
right.
Watto.
Right,
It's a
right,
big,
right.
it's a big pad.
No, never.
But Rudy's like, he has been. Did you just read this before? Like I think since like this century, maybe, or maybe it's even more than that. Like he has been dismissed LBW more than any other batter. It's like 51, and then the next was Coley on 36. One of these statistics where like the best batters tend to turn up. In them because they score heaps of runs or something like that. They bat a lot, and they've been in lots of games because of all the runs they've scored.
Yeah.
So, he gets out all that time. It's like, and then he averages 50.
Yeah. So when I look at like the top 3 bowlers that have ever got Joe Root out, Cummins, Bumrah, Hazelwood, that suggests to me that South Africa's shit.
Exactly. But anyway, surfboard. It sort of stays with you though. It's one of those things like next time he comes out to bats, how about the surfboard on this?
Well, it's cleaner than saying he's got a 911 on his front pad.
Yeah,
I mean, if you
true.
said that,
911, yeah. I think Syed Arson kept getting hit on both pads as well, like 2 towers.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Joe Root, is Warner? If no one scores runs at Karen Rolton, Warner might become part of the conversation. You know what I mean? So, like, if Root gets out LBW in the first test, how will we forget the fact that it's been called a surfboard?
Yeah, maybe.
And then will people start bringing surfboards to the ground?
Oh yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, what about this? Because Australia's putting a lot of emphasis on the fact that Joe Root's not very good because he's never scored 100 here. I'm pretty sure he's got like 15 50s here.
Yeah.
But okay, Australia win the Ashes 4-1, but Joe Root scores 100. Would most Australians take that?
I think. Well, no, we're not taking 4-1. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. How are they going to win a game?
Yeah.
Who falls over? Yeah.
Warner and like Mark Okolupo come together.
Yeah.
Campaigns.
I'm just saying, like a lot of people are saying, like, Joe Root's shit until he scores 100, where I can see it. And I think it's most likely that he probably scores 100 this series because he's a good player.
Yeah, it's like you keep giving a guy that averages 50 a crack, probably gets it done.
Probably sorts it out eventually. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Let's do our CDC. But before then, Chucky, hit it. Oh, Chuck.
Boys, give me a cold beer. Give me a 6 points pale and a song. I've never hung so many sweaty men while I sing my favourite song. Was me dad that a day? Doesn't matter anyway. I've got a 6 points pale. I've got a 6 points pale and a song.
6 points pale is back, baby. Now, we've got a few on the shelf here. And look, I would crack one, but they've been sitting there for a few weeks, and it's going to be warm as fuck. So I'm not going to be doing that. But look, if you want to get behind the boys, and if you fancy yourself just to top off what's been a great summer in the UK, or if you're easy into a final season in the winter, then please get behind 6 points pale. All you need now is a song. There's a link in the description of this show where you can get a case delivered to your doorstep if you fancy it. And someone on Patreon whose name I can't read out, he has said that he picked up a case of 6 points pale, good little beer you boys have put together, from an Hobgoblin fan. P.S. Noticed you've got an English World Cup winning rugby legend brewing it. Very interesting. I don't know who that is, but...
Jason Robinson.
Is it actually?
Martin Johnson. No,
I
don't know.
Yeah. Martin Johnson would be good if he's brewing our beer. But according to
Mike
this...
Tyndall.
Of course, according to this...
I think he's doing Saudi stuff.
patron. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's where we're brewing it, isn't it? You know, he said it's a good little beer. So,
Well, there you go.
there you go. And notice we've got an English World Cup winning rugby legend brewing it.
Beer
Very
brewer,
interesting.
England rugby
Yeah.
player.
6 points per. You can pick up a case or a 6-pack on your doorstep.
Well, there's
Link in the description. Who you got?
several former English rugby players have transitioned into the beer industry. So Steve Thompson, director of Powder Monkey Brewing Co. So Steve Thompson, England's most capped hooker, and obviously got the business done in 03
03,
at
okay.
Stadium Australia. Heartbreak. I cried. We played RPs at Coogee Oval that day. It was day two. It had rained a little bit. Yep. I think we won.
I was still in school. I
Threes.
went down to the Rocks. Watched it on a big screen down there,
Nice.
Sydney.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I went to the semi. before.
Against the All Blacks.
Yeah. Yep. Sterling Mortlock. Intercept.
Intercept try, yeah. Black gloves there.
Yep. Dell. It was hot shit.
Yeah,
it was real hot.
That's hot.
It was very hot. I can still see Sterling Mortlock running to score.
Anyway, 6 points, pal. If you want a case, link in the description. Deliver to your doorstep. Let us know how you go with it. AskTGC. The final one before we sign off until the Ashes starts. We'll be back in, what are we looking at, October? Heading into the Ashes, ahead of the bat-off, the Great Australian bat-off. But if you want to get your AskTGC read, in the meantime, hello@gradecricketer.com. That's for the main pot. And in the meantime, as we sign off from the series, you can join us on Patreon, where we won't be stopping every single Friday. Patreon.com/GradeCricketer. We're going right the way through, as we always do. If you want to sign up there for $5 or $10 US a month, you sign up there, you get Ask TGC Fridays every single Friday for your TGC fix. If you want to hear us talk for an hour or so, coming out every single week. Plus all the back catalogue, Hall of Fame, all that kind of stuff. That's how you do it. Anyway, Justin wrote in. He said, read the book. Can't wait for the movie adaptation of the book. Who's going to play Charlie? Me fans are stupid pigs. Now, Charlie, got your mic on, you got the old mic on there, Chuck? Yeah. Now, who do you want to play you in the movie adaptation of the book where you don't feature in the book?
Well, that's a shame, and that's news to me, but who do I want to play me?
Yeah.
Probably Michael B. Jordan.
You like what he's about?
Yeah.
He's a good,
What is it?
he's a
Just his
good-looking man.
technique?
Good chassis.
It's a hell of a chassis. Nice smile, kind eyes.
Yes.
Pedro Pascal, I could say.
Yeah.
For Chuck, I could see that.
Yeah.
Well, I've been told I look like Nicolas Cage once, which I just feel like
Who said that
I don't know. I don't know if that was, I still don't know if it was a joke, but
to you? See I'd want Sydney Sweeney to play you.
yeah, we know about her.
Oh, we do now.
Yeah, we do now. Yeah.
Yeah, Nicholas. Every time I hear a Nick Cave song, I just can only imagine Nicolas Cage singing it. It ruins a lot of songs. Into My Arms, just gone.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Anyway, yeah. Well, look, approaches have been made over the years for film and TV adaptations of the books, but we've been too busy chaining Charlie up. So I guess we'll find out what happens next with the book. E wrote in Pezza. He said, "Boys, first time, long time, sucky, etc. Those T20s in the Caribbean were actually pretty entertaining, and the timings worked out very well for me. In the second one in Jamaica, when Russell retired, they had Elephant Man in capitals, brackets, killer dancehall artist, proper music. So Elephant Man performed at the end, but he also got interviewed 10 overs into the innings. Highlight was the commentator asking him about the origins of his name, akin to James Brayshaw naively asking Slug why everyone calls him Slug. Could have been an all-time clip, but sadly, man handled it slightly more discreetly than Chris Gale might have. No need to blush, etc. From E. Now, Elephant Man. You aware of Elephant Man at all?
No.
Nah. Chuck, Elephant Man?
No, I'm not.
You got an image there on your device or not?
Yeah,
Careful.
Yeah, I'm looking at one. He's publicly stated that he has 38 children.
So he's busy.
Yeah, it must be a good piece.
He's busy. It must be. Yeah.
A working piece.
A working piece. Yeah. If nothing else, working, functional.
Yeah.
That's important. It's important stuff. Pez, you want to read Pat's one?
Yeah. Here we go. Hi, boys. Long time fan of the show, etc., etc. Just wanted to write in about the following. I don't know about you, but I always feel a slight twinge of embarrassment whenever England fans show up for the Ashes with their tightly organised and coordinated Barmy Army chants, combining a witty insertion of players' surnames into well-known songs, accompanied by some lovely trumpet. And us Aussies just sit and laugh, then sink more beers. And the most wittiest group-scale remark we can come up with is, "You are a wanker."
One of my favourites.
It makes me feel a bit embarrassed to be outclassed both musically and comedically by these guys. I'm appealing to your large audience base and wondering if you would be open to a collaboration of sorts to form a similar Aussie cheer squad with coordinated chants and lyrics. Here is my CV, : I play the trumpet with a degree in classical performance from the Elder Conservatorium of Music, Adelaide University, brackets or some shit. I have plenty of grade cricket background, being involved for 5 years as club scorer for one of... Is this a fake? Have I been stitched up here?
Let's see.
As club scorer for one of Adelaide's grade cricket clubs. My nickname was Hot Wheels on account of me using a No, fuck off. Okay. My nickname was fuck. Damn it. My nickname was Hot Wheels on account of me using a manual wheelchair. I have experience in playing, trumpet at a few sporting events, including once at a game. I haven't read this. Where the D-grade captain, an Englishman, arranged for me to play Jerusalem on the trumpet as he walked out to bat, as well as other carnival-type games where we organised chants, such as singing about blokes having their, quote, their cocks tucked into their socks, to the tune of hi ho, it's off to work we go, brackets Snow White. Anyway, let me know if you'd like to collab here. I've also recently moved to Melbourne, which may make logistics easier. I think it's time to beat these Poms at their own game, just like we already do when we play each other at cricket. Regards, Pat.
I appreciate it, Hot Wheels.
Look, I just want to apologise for off the bat instinctive reactions there.
You're fine. You're fine.
So, I mean,
Look,
how do we, like, if we turned the mics on and launched we unironically launched a campaign to match the Barmy Army for songs.
England would have already won the Ashes.
Oh my God,
Before a ball was bowled,
yeah.
if we do that, yeah.
Like, I do, I would like if we sung more. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I don't mean to be defeatist about it. I really can't see it. Men in Australia should be prouder of singing more songs. Last night, I myself sent to my schoolmates. This is no. I can play this. Hopefully, maybe this would demonetize us on YouTube. But I sent this to my mates. I said, I'd like to think we could all do something like this of an evening one day a man could only dream. And it's blokes singing like sea shanties. Imagine this. Harmonising. Yeah. I'm all for it. I love that. Yeah.
Their cocks tucked into their socks.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's just hard. Yeah.
I want to know how, in football culture, right? How they start a song where everyone knows the words. Is there some sort of get together beforehand? How
doesn't it get socialized? I know these days online, people try they sing them.
Just got caned. That guy wrote into us once.
I know, he just got caned.
Yeah.
That's the best.
He said, I'm happy to perform at a live show.
Yeah. I think they get socialised at the pubs around the ground beforehand, you know,
okay.
so like a couple of guys might start singing it, then the whole pub's starting to sing it, and then it's just like, oh, have you heard that? Let us know. But I think it's I think that's how it works, and then then you like Nonsense Online trying to get songs going and stuff like that. But I think it's like they sing them, you know. I think there's hierarchies of like fans, you know, within football clubs as well. Like you've got these super fans and I'm the best fan and all that.
I'm a top red.
So, exactly. Yeah. So and like there'd be song police.
Oh, there must be.
The policing would be out of control.
That song sucks.
So
yeah, okay.
It's not bad though. Like I don't know. I wouldn't mind hearing from Aussies, you know, if that's something you want, especially with this guy. He goes to the conservatorium. He went there and he's got he can play the trumpet.
Yeah,
so
he's got a thing going. Yeah, it is a bit cringe when
they call him Hot Wheels,
because when you're at like Edgbaston, for instance, and the Hollies is going at like Merv's touring group, and it's just a some octogenarians in yellow caps, just sitting there, just spending their pension, just having a good time. Bucket list thing, go to the Ashes in England, all that kind of stuff, sitting there with Merv, having a good time, and you're being sung God Save Your King or whatever. Yeah. And then they're like, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's so, you know.
So, like...
It's just not our culture.
It feels... Yeah, but is that... Like, it feels like if we were... Like, the most dynamic expression we've had is, like, the Fanatics. Yeah. And the Fanatics, I feel like, always had a little... Like, you know, it was as a kid in like year 9, 10, 11, I was happy to see it. We're proud of our sports teams and stuff like that. But as I got older, I feel like it always just had a little edge it just had a little nasty edge to it. Yeah. Fanatic stuff. Yeah. And maybe, you know, that's probably Australia's sporting reputation. Like, could we confound people and put something together that was like one of the most complex, you know, like melodically complex, you know, arrangements of all Australians, you know, of all cultures, creeds, you know, men, women, children, right? Led by the Qantas Choir.
Yeah, I was going to say the Qantas Choir. Yeah, we should get them in,
and then just get and then also, I don't know, Cat Empire, Polyphonic Spree, which aren't Australian, but like you're starting to get big arrangements.
Rufus.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, now we're talking.
So, I don't know. Probably not. Yeah. You know.
So nah.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Hot Wheels. Thanks for the question. Hey, Pezza, really enjoyed the show. Really enjoyed the run of shows here for the Northern Summer. Thanks to Buck for coming in to the studio as well. He hasn't done that yet, so I hope he has. And thank you once again for joining us over one of the last 300 episodes or any of the things we've ever done here at The Great Cricketer. And thank you for being one of the 100 million people that have watched us over the last little while. If you have.
If you fuck with YouTube.
Yeah, and if you haven't, probably at some point you've probably had a look at it and being like, I didn't think he'd look like that.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
That's a classic of the genre. I didn't think you'd look like that.
Yeah.
Comment, send.
Yeah.
Do something with that.
And really the mics go away for TGC.
Right.
We go away for a little bit. If you do want to continue hearing some of the loosest stuff, and it probably gets loosest now, then join us on Patreon, where that's rain, hail, or shine stuff. That's every Friday. Yeah. You're getting an hour of pretty unhinged chat, and that rolls all the way through. There's no break for that. That's where people come to fuck. But and then there's a chat as well. But other than that, yeah, we're going away for a bit, right? Because it's been 16 months of recording in the last 18 months, probably at a cadence of about 5 to 7 things a week. So just dropping off a little bit, getting a few things right, coming back strong, rampagingly hot for just probably the Australia-India white ball series. And then we'll see if we can do something for the Ashes.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe. So we'll see you next time we check in, where the rigs are just going to be unbelievable. Peptides, steroids, anything.
Yeah. Promising rigs. Yeah. Which is something you can promise every time.
Huge mistake.
Watch out for Pezza this time around. Don't worry about that.
See you guys next time. Cheers.